Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh, my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh. Do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to Law Talk. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, your host. Shane's in the studio today. We're going to be bringing him in on some of the things we may talk about today. So I thank you for bringing me into your car or pickup or living room or bedroom or wherever you may be listening. You may be out jogging somewhere and you're listening to this morning show. Welcome to Law Talk. Well, it's certainly a brisk morning. I'm in Fredericksburg this morning. It's 62 degrees here. Not sure of the temperature there in Temple, but I bet it's around that also. Been a huge, huge week in regard to economic news, and basically because of the coronavirus. Also, a lot of news as far as the spread of coronavirus. You know, as of last night, there had been 3,907,055 worldwide confirmed cases, over 272,000 deaths worldwide. Here in the great country of the USA, we've had 1,271,775 confirmed coronavirus cases and just over 76,000 U.S. deaths. Here closer to home, we're in a lot better shape here. Texas, we've got about 37,000 total confirmed cases here in the great state of Texas. Just over 1,000 deaths. We did break the 1,000 mark yesterday. At last count, 1,016, unfortunately, have died due to the coronavirus. Here in Bell County, 218 total cases with 3 deaths. And I've been very pleased with not only the number of cases, but also the relatively low number of deaths here in Bell County. And I'm sure Bell County authorities have been very, very happy about that also. So we just need to keep it up. We need to socially distance from one another. I actually wore a mask for the very first time this past week. It was a kind of a weird feeling, I'll tell you. I needed to go to H-E-B to pick up some items so we could cook a meal. There were some things. We have our groceries delivered primarily, but there had been a couple of items, necessary ingredients that had been left out. And so Sharon asked me to go to the store, so I did. And as I was leaving my office, I began to cough a little bit. And I thought, well, I don't want to be in H-E-B coughing like this and people thinking, I've got something and not at least have a mask on. So I grabbed a mask, got some masks there at the office. I grabbed one. As I started walking into H-E-B, I put it on. And I tell you what, it was a weird, bizarre experience being in H-E-B with everybody else with this mask on. It was hot. Did not like it at all. I rushed to get my few items picked up because I only had like 4 or 5 items to pick up. Grabbed them, headed to the register. There was no one in line. That was one good thing. No one in line at the register. And I was able to get out the door and get that stupid mask off. And it was not a pleasant experience. So I know that I've had a lot of clients coming into my office with masks. And so I commend them for wearing their mask. I just don't see how in the world they can deal with that all the time. I don't know if they wear it all the time or just when they're coming into an office or something. But it does. It is a frightening experience to go in there and see all the people with masks, and that we're truly dealing with a pretty sinister disease that requires people to wear masks everywhere they go and to shut down our vibrant economy due to that same disease. But anyway, so we're beginning to open up a little bit. Hair salons opened Friday, and I know a lot of people were pleased about that. Ted Cruz got his haircut. I'm so glad to hear about that. Ted was starting to look a little bit shaggy. He went up there to Dallas where that salon owner had been thrown in jail by the Dallas judge. And after she was released by order by pretty much everybody in elected official in Texas, she was released and she was able to keep her salon open and legally open it on Friday. And so many people went in. Hair salons are open. Nail salons are open. And so that's a good thing. We've still got a few more things to open up. I know the restaurants are only up. Most of them are only open 25%. And so we got a ways to go there. Here in Fredericksburg, there are still only 4 cases that have been reported that are confirmed. And so therefore, Fredericksburg and Gillespie County is able to open up 50%. And so we have restaurants, 50% of restaurants can open up, and same with a lot of other businesses. And so that's a good thing. And last weekend we had our first meal in a restaurant after the show. I did the show last Saturday. We went and had a great German meal at a restaurant here in Fredericksburg and enjoyed that quite a bit. And there were a lot of people there. I mean, we were socially distanced. They had removed some of the tables so that the tables all were, about 7 or 8 feet apart. They were really more than 6 feet apart, and they were doing their due diligence. And at the hair salons, it's my understanding, a lot of them are taking your temperature when you walk in. They're requiring you to wash your hands very carefully when you walk in the door. The people that are running the salons, doing the hair and nails, all wearing face masks. If you're a customer, at least at the one my wife went to, and Sharon did go to the Best Little Hair House in Temple, Friday morning, and she was required to wear a mask. And before she was able to get in, and then, of course, they only let one customer per stylist into the building at a time. And so I'm sure that does slow them down a little bit, but everybody is safe, and that's a very, very good thing. Glad to hear all of that. All right, well, looks like we've got a break here, so we're going to take a break. And when we get back, we'll talk a little bit about some of the bankruptcies that have been filed this week. Thanks for listening.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Petros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. Well, I forgot to give the phone number of the first segment. If you'd like to call in, ask a question, make a comment, begin a dialogue, the number is 1-866-895-6442. That's 1-866-89-LOGIC. You can call in and weigh in on what we may be talking about. And also, I forgot to mention at the top of the show is this is Mother's Day weekend, and so a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And Shane, have you gotten your wife something for Mother's Day yet?
No, I'm one of those type of guys that waits till the very last minute.
Let me ask you this: when Christmas comes. And it's Christmas Eve.
Uh-huh.
Do you stop at a convenience store and try to buy your wife something? Is that the kind of guy you are on the way home?
No, not Christmas. I'm usually not like that. Christmas. I'm usually Santa Claus. So I tend to go all out and prepare like 2 months ahead of time for Christmas. But hey, we didn't mention the social media either. We are streamed live at LogicNation.us. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, and Twitter and Periscope at Logic Nation USA if you want to stream us live on the internet.
Hey, you're exactly right. And you know why? I didn't mention it because I don't have it written down on my pad. This is why.
Well, that's why I got your back covered over here at the
There
studio.
you go. Well, I've got to get those written down. Yeah, so you can watch and see Shane in the studio. If you go to LogicNation.us, you can listen to me talking. And on the Saturdays that I will be in town, there will be some coming up. Matter of fact, it's possible I'll be in this next Saturday. And if that's the case, I'll be there in the studio with Shane, and we'll be talking about a lot of good stuff. So, well, anyway, so let me ask you. So you haven't got anything yet. You're in the process of looking, right?
Well, I don't really need to look because I know what my wife likes, and I know what she really wants. So I am probably just going to get her like a $100 or $200 Ulta gift card. That way she can go splurge at Ulta because that's what she really, really likes to do.
Oh, that sounds great. Well, this is going to be much more laid-back Mother's Day in the Laughlin family, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Sharon had told me she wanted a nice cake pan, and I can't quite figure that out. Because,
a cake pan?
Yeah.
Really?
She has baked one cake, I think, in the last year to 2 years. And, we've had all kinds of cake pans, but when you have 4 children and you send stuff home with people and stuff, sometimes those pans don't get returned to you.
Yeah.
And so that's what she wanted. So there's a great kitchen store here in Fredericksburg. We're going to actually go down and go into the store and shop, and I'm sure they're going to have something that's going to be awesome. I did get her some flowers, got those earlier this week.
Well, good.
But anyway, so as far as the dollar value of the gift, I'm much, much lower than you are, Shane, this year. So,
well, considering she just helped me finish a major report on for one of my doctoral classes, so I'm buffering the amount a little bit as a thank you for helping me type
well,
of.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, she deserves a good gift, and those that don't know Shane, his wife, they've got a young one. That baby is 2 years old, a year and a half?
Yeah, no, he's 2.5. He turns 3 this September.
Oh my gosh!
I know, and he's growing like a weed too. He weighs like 55 pounds.
Well, it's been a while since I saw him, so
yeah.
That's why I couldn't remember real well. Anyway, so that's awesome. So I'm glad you're taking care of your wife because a happy life means
a happy life.
There you go.
And you know, I didn't.
We did not practice that.
No,
it just worked out well.
You know what? I didn't realize how true that was until I got married, and then because I've heard it all my life, since I was real young and up into teenager stage, and then I got married, and I'm like, you know what? That saying really is true.
No, it is. It is very true. It's very true. So it's important to, and men are different, and that's why they wrote the book, about men are from Mars.
Women are from Venus.
Women are from Venus, or whatever the book is. And it is so true. And the more you live life, the more you realize that. That's for sure.
Yep.
Well, anyway, so back to the show. So here we are. They had a bunch of very interesting things occur this week. And I'm going to just to give you an idea of some of the things I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about all the different companies, big companies that have filed for bankruptcy this week. J. Crew, Neiman Marcus of all companies, Hertz Rent-A-Car. They're the big boys of the rental car business. Pier 1 filed for bankruptcy. Then we're going to switch gears after we talk about that. So we're going to talk about Donald Trump and Pence and the growing problem with the coronavirus in the White House. And they've had 3 close aides test positive this week for coronavirus. And those of you that do know, the president is a germaphobe, quite a germaphobe. And I'm sure that's a big concern, but it's in the Secret Service. At least 11 members of the Secret Service have contracted coronavirus, and so there's lots and lots of things going on in the world, and even in Bell County, it's been coronavirus has been a big struggle. We have finally opened up a lot of things. They just announced this last week that we will still not have jury trials or trials in Bell County through the end of June. They announced that to us this last week. And so I've been doing video conferences and telephone conferences for my hearings all week. Well, probably we've started them about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I had 8 or 9 hearings this past week, some of them by video conference, some of them by telephone conference. And so far it's working out okay. It's a little bit cumbersome, and it's a little bit difficult as far as if you have evidence you have to introduce it. We got to figure that out a little bit better. But other than that, we seem to be making out okay. The big group of people that I'm hoping will open next will be, especially in Fredericksburg, some of these tourist areas, the wineries that are here. They draw a lot of people to the Gillespie County area, and we need the governor to open up those wineries. They have lots of space outdoors. You can socially distance and still go to a winery. So if you're listening, Governor Abbott, open up, free those wineries, and let's get them open for Gillespie County and the rest of Texas. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it. Let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Are
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got two more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
One in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, your host, faithful host. Number to call if you'd like to call in, 1-866-895-9227. 6442. That's 1-866-89-LOGIC. Call in if you'd like to ask a question, make a comment. You know, a moment here, I'd like to take just a second to pay homage to a guy that has died that really was one of the very first conservative radio hosts. It's going to be a name you've not ever heard of, but his name was Barry Farber. He was a longtime conservative radio talk show host in liberal New York City. He died of natural causes on Wednesday of this last week, the day after he turned 90 years old. And he blazed a trail that was later followed by people like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity. And he was still hosting a digital show for CRN up until last week. And he had recently suffered injuries in a fall. And anyway, he kind of blazed the way for other people to be able to carry on his legacy of conservatism on the radio. As a matter of fact, in December of 2019, Sean Hannity interviewed him for Fox Nation and shared many of his favorite quotes about America. One of them was I liked a lot. It said, there has never been a country in the history of mankind that has accumulated more power than this country and abused it less. And he was a great guy, born in Baltimore, raised in North Carolina. He spent his entire radio career in New York City, starting out as a producer before he first started hosting his first show. And he launched an unsuccessful mayoral run in New York in 1977, losing to Ed Koch. But that field, it was really a famous field. It also included the incumbent mayor, Abe Beam, future New York Governor Mario Cuomo, and then former U.S. Representative Bella Abzug. And he returned to radio and stayed there, was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame. And anyway, a great worker. And one of the interesting things about him, Shane, is he spoke more than 20 languages. Can you imagine?
You're kidding. 20?
Yeah, Albanian, Swedish, Finnish, Yiddish, German, French, Spanish, Chinese, among others.
I can barely handle the one.
Yeah, we normally butcher that one, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
And by the time Limbaugh and Hannity had become, household names, had hundreds of stations, bringing conservative radio to new heights of popularity, Mr. Farber was beyond his peak in years, and he often joked, this is a really funny statement, he would joke about being big in the old days, but old in the big days of conservative talk radio. Anyway, so congratulations to him on a life well lived, and our condolences, of course, to his family and friends and co-workers there as they lay him to rest there in New York City. And if it wasn't for people like that, we wouldn't have all the stations all across the United States would not be having people like me and Shane and other people, Con and all of us out there that are talking, Logic Nation, Matt Vitros, all of us doing this very same thing. And, while we're talking about it, the number to call, by the way, 866-895-6442. You can also stream this show on Saturdays on logicnation.us. And there are some others. And when Shane gives me the list, I promise I will plug those, Shane.
All right.
But, it's been an interesting, this is our second weekend of doing what we're doing now, and we're broadcasting from the studio that's in my law office, and Shane is there manning the board, and then after this show, Shane is going to broadcast a show, and then after that, Con Tatum will be coming into the studio, and he'll be broadcasting his show from there. So we got 6 hours of live conservative radio right here, originating in Temple, Texas. So Mr. Farber, thank you so much for starting this trend and allowing us to do what we do. So Shane, tell folks what you're going to be talking about today during your show.
Yeah, well, Weekend Logic is going to be streamed live from 10 to 12, right here from Studio L. And basically what I talk about on Weekend Logic is what's happened through the previous week and what to look forward to in the next week. So what we're going to be talking about this week is I have some, the DOJ dropped charges against, Flynn this week. So we'll be talking about that and the repercussions, and Obama's out there running his mouth, saying that the rule of law is under attack. So we'll be talking about Michael Flynn, and then we'll be looking ahead to what the economy's doing. This last week, the jobs report came out, and there was over 20 million jobs got shredded in the month of April due to the coronavirus. So we'll be talking about what the impact is of the unemployment claims and things like that. And the Senate is looking at putting through another stimulus package. So that we'll be talking about the economy. We'll be talking about Michael Flynn and the DOJ, and we'll be talking about some of the governors and how they're being sued right now over the coronavirus shutdown. So we'll be talking about a plethora of things coming up from 10 to 12. And then after me is Common Sense with Con Tatum. He'll be coming up at from 12 to 2. And he'll probably be talking about common sense and other things of that nature. But that's what's coming up later on in the day after Law Talk.
And all of these things, we are streaming live on LogicNation.us, and you can also watch them recorded. They're recorded, right, Shane?
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
We are
Fantastic.
recording.
Well, thanks for that. So anyway, this coronavirus is growing, and it's growing inside the White House. And at least 3 staffers reported tested positive this week. In addition, there have been 11 members of the Secret Service who are charged with protecting President Trump, and other officials had the virus as of Friday evening, according to the Department of Homeland Security. And the Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Stephen Hahn did test negative, thank goodness, yesterday. However, he does plan on self-quarantining himself for 2 weeks after he came into contact with an aide from Vice President Pence. So lots of people in the White House are testing positive. One of them was a Trump valet. That particular aide has been confirmed to have the virus on Friday. And Pence's press secretary, Katie Miller, has been confirmed to have the virus. And she's married to senior White House advisor Stephen Miller. So got a number of people in the White House, and the president's going to have to keep his people closer to him so they don't he doesn't contract the virus. And even Ivanka Trump's personal assistant, who had been working from home for the last few weeks, has tested positive this past week, according to Fox News. And also one of the President Trump's valets, a U.S. Navy member who takes care of the president's wardrobe along with other tasks, he has tested positive for the coronavirus. And so, again, that's been 23 members of the Secret Service. So you add all those together, that's about 30 to 35 different people that are right around the president that have contracted the coronavirus. So if you're out there in the public, make sure you're washing your hands, wearing a face mask when you're in stores to avoid contracting the virus. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back You're listening to Law Talk.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, QuickWrenchAutomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay. Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. I tell you what, I just ran across an article I just got to tell you about, folks. And I don't know, Shane, if you've seen this yet or not, but San Francisco is giving away drugs and alcohol to the homeless.
No, I haven't seen that.
Giving illegal drugs and alcohol to their homeless. instead of doing what they should be doing, is basically trying to wean them off of these drugs and feeding their stomachs instead of basically facilitating these bad habits.
Yeah, no kidding. But did you hear what's happening in L.A. with the hotels over in L.A.? If
where they're commandeering the hotel.
That's insane. If the hotel does not accept the homeless, free room, free board, and doesn't require payment or anything for the homeless, the city is threatening to commandeer those hotels or shame them in the media, one of the two. But
yeah, and that is actually something also San Francisco is threatening. I don't think they've done it yet, but they are certainly threatening that. So it's almost like it's crazy time out there for some of this. And there's a former San Francisco city supervisor that responded yesterday to reports that alcohol and other addictive substances are being provided to homeless who are being kept in California hotels. Now, all of this is an effort to stem the spread of coronavirus, and I get that, and I guess they are grappling at what to do in order to do that. How to what the best process is. And have you heard what's some of the Texas cities doing, Shane? Have you heard like Dallas or Austin or Houston? I know Austin has a big homeless population. And of course, even in Temple, we have a smaller homeless population.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about the state of Texas is that we have a fairly conservative state government. So even, with most of the cities going bonkers over their power, the Democrats and liberals tend to like their power over the people. The state government has quelled a lot of what the states or what the cities want to do as far as, homeless and giving, bailouts and all this other stuff. So thankfully, our state government is taking care of the people, which is what it's supposed to do via, freedom and independence, and not and it's not as suppressive as California and Michigan and all these other states, all these liberal states. But I haven't heard of anything, as far as the homeless population. I haven't heard anything, as far as Dallas and Houston and Austin, as far as hotels or being commandeered or anything like that. Thankfully, our state government is suppressing kind of these liberal cities.
Yeah, well, I do know they have the authority to do that in times of crisis, and they do have the authority to seize a hotel to be able to use for whatever the purpose the government may want to do. But I have a real issue with the government, our government, feeding the addiction of a very vulnerable population. The homeless are vulnerable, but they say that taxpayer dollars aren't being used for that. But if that's the case, where is the money coming from? If it's not taxpayer dollars, where are they getting the money from?
No kidding.
I guess it could.
The money's coming from us no matter what. I mean, it's got to come from the taxpayer because, with the government doesn't make or produce anything. It takes. So it takes the money from us no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there may be some funding from donations. There may be large corporations or individuals that are donating the money for this, and I guess that is a possibility. But I can't think of a clearer signal to taxpayers and citizens, people that are trying to do the right thing, but contributing to their intoxication and to their addiction, and giving all this the homeless all this free drugs and alcohol and stuff, and I just think it's outrageous. And I'm hoping they put a stop to it. I hope there's an uprising in California, and they kind of put a stop to that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we have Con on line 1, so let's go to Con for a minute, okay?
All right, sure. Go ahead, Con.
All right, go.
Well, my question is, are they helping people? Are they helping the downtrodden, etc., or are they encouraging and rewarding bad behavior? And where does this road take us? How many other people will get the idea that they're better off to stay at home and draw all the benefits than they are to go to work? You know, what's the end result?
Well, you're exactly right on that. It's the same way, Con, with the unemployment benefits that are being given right now. Right now, people, if you've been laid off, you get your normal unemployment benefits. Then they're giving an additional $600 a week over and above your normal unemployment benefits, which in probably most cases, if you add the two together, that's more than the people made a week anyway. So why go back to work when you're being paid more to do nothing, watch Netflix on television?
Well, you know, what is the goal? Is the goal to destroy the workforce in the United States, which is one of the best in the world, and that's why we're the strongest in the world? Is that what they want to do, destroy the workforce in the United States?
Well, I don't know. And I tell you what, I even worry a little bit about myself personally. You know, I for many years worked from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. in my legal practice, worked on rental property and stuff after that, and then on weekends worked on rental stuff. Well, during this coronavirus thing, I've dropped my hours from 8 o'clock. We've been open 8 to 5 here in the last year and a half. I've dropped it from 7 to 4. Well, I mean, from 9 o'clock a.m. to 4 p.m. for the law office. And so I'm a little concerned about when we get back to normal. You know, I'm not going to be liking getting up so early to me and work at 8 and working all the way till 5. That's going to be a rude awakening, and that's for somebody that owns his own business and is wanting things to come back. So I can just imagine somebody that is an employee and is getting, let's say, $800 or $900 a week from unemployment benefits. They have no incentive to go back to work.
Well, what made this country the greatest country in the history of the world? A hard-working people that worked can to cane. That's the way my parents did, and that's the way I've done. I don't work 8 to 5. I work can to cane. And that's what made America great. So are we just discouraging and destroying that work ethic and that mental attitude that has made this country the greatest country in the world? Is that their objective, is to destroy that workforce and replace it with welfare recipients that are dependent on the government? Is that what they want?
Certainly what they're wanting is to change America into the image that they would like to see, where you're dependent on government and you're everything you do, you're on the dole, whether it's medical care, a paycheck, housing, whatever. And of course, we all know what that is. That's communism or socialism, and that is definitely not something I'm interested in. All right, well, with that, we're out of time for the first hour of the show. When we get back next hour, I'm going to be talking about Chapter 11 bankruptcy and what these businesses are doing and how it can relate to Chapter 13, which is for individuals. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Central Texas. Welcome to Law Talk, second hour of Law Talk. And a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you're a mother, I hope you're having a great weekend and somebody's serving you breakfast in bed, or you've gotten some cards or some calls from your children, grandchildren over this weekend. And I just hope you have a great time. We're going to be talking this afternoon, or this morning, the second hour of Law Talk, rather, about Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and which is something that is, there's going to be quite a few of these being filed, and I think it's important to understand a little bit about it, so when you see the term Chapter 11 bankruptcy, you know what it means. But we've had several companies already filed just here within the last week or so. J. Crew filed Chapter 11. Neiman Marcus filed Chapter 11. Hertz Corporation filed Chapter 11. Gold's Gym filed Chapter 11. True Religion, a clothing store, filed Chapter 11. Pier 1 filed Chapter 11. Papyrus filed Chapter 11. And there are going to be more and more and more of these filing Chapter 11. And Chapter 11... it's not an outright bankruptcy where they're just shutting down their stores. Now, they do have the ability to shut down some stores that are underperforming stores that are not making money, that are dragging the company now. In a Chapter 11, you can get out of a lease, for example, if something's not working out, and that may or may not be part of the reason the Temple Mall has not opened up yet. I'm not sure what's going on that. I have not heard. But Chapter 11 is a chapter of the Bankruptcy Code, U.S. Bankruptcy Code, and it permits a reorganization under the bankruptcy laws of the United States. It's available to every business, whether organized as a corporation, partnership, or sole proprietorship. It's also available to individuals. However, it's most prominently used by corporate entities. If you're an individual, then normally you would file, instead of a Chapter 11, you file a Chapter 13. It is a more simplified version of reorganization. So, and Chapter 11 is for corporations and people and that owe a lot of money, or individuals that have a very large amount of debt. Chapter 13 is for people that owe a lesser amount of debt, but it's still, both are still a reorganization process, and it provides a reorganization process for many companies. And so just a brief overview here, just a second here. What it does is if you're not able to pay your bills, like, for example, Neiman Marcus and J. Crew and Hertz and Gold's Gym, all of those were not able to service their debt. They weren't able to pay their bills in a timely manner. Then the business can, or the creditors, and by the way, your creditor can file a Chapter 11 for you. So if you're not paying your bills and you're just ignoring them, a creditor can even put you into or file a Chapter 11 on your behalf with the federal bankruptcy court, and you can get protection from the bankruptcy court. Now, in a Chapter 7, many of you are probably familiar with Chapter 7. The business ceases operations. A trustee will sell any assets that are not exempt assets, and the majority of the time, all the assets are exempt. However, sometimes there are assets that do need to be sold, and I think I had 8 Chapter 7 hearings this last week, and of those 8, only one had assets to be sold. It was a lot that had a value of about $14,000 to $20,000. There was no debt on that lot, and so the trustee was going to take that, sell it, and then whatever proceeds come out of that, distribute those proceeds to the creditors in a pro rata fashion. If there is any residual amount left over, let's say they sell it for $20,000 and they get $20,000 at the sale, and the debts that are being paid only amount to $12,000, then the residual amount, the $8,000, is paid back to the person that had filed the bankruptcy. That's in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. In a Chapter 11, in most instances, the debtor remains in control of the business operations as what's called a debtor in possession, and is subject to oversight and jurisdiction of the court. And a Chapter 11 will result in one of 3 outcomes. Typically for that debtor, they either reorganize their debts, maybe drop some, let's say you're you're Hertz, and you got all these automobiles all over the place. You can get out of some of those debts on the cars, maybe get out of some of the locations that you're renting your cars in, maybe reduce your rent at these airports and places that you're currently operating in, and then you can reschedule your payments based on a lesser amount, something that you can afford. That way everybody gets paid, maybe not the full amount that was originally due, but in some pro rata amount. And in many cases, if you can't pay your debts, if everybody gets 75% or something along that line, that is better, much better for everybody involved than getting nothing and the business closing, all the assets being sold. Instead of getting 75%, maybe they get 20% of what was owed to them after all of the assets are sold. So anyway, so the options are reorganization. Sometimes they do convert to a Chapter 7. And if they are not able to continue, and then also the other option is that the case could ultimately be dismissed because the monthly payments were not being paid by the creditor. Most Chapter 11 cases do aim to confirm a plan to pay the major stakeholders or creditors in the case. And if the judge approves that reorganization plan and all the creditors can agree, then the plan is confirmed. And then the creditor or the debtor does begin to make the payments that are required. And if they make all those payments, they're able to keep their business afloat. So that's basically how a Chapter 11 works. When we get back, we're going to talk about Chapter 13, and which is a similar type of bankruptcy and how that works. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Petros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Okay.
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it going to be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. Number to call if you'd like to call in, ask a question, make a comment. 1-866-89-LOGIC is our number. You can watch us streamed live online at logicnation.us if you're interested. And before I move on to Chapter 13, I did want to point out some of the larger Chapter 11 bankruptcies that have been filed in history. The largest, as far as dollar amounts, was Lehman Brothers Holdings. You remember Lehman Brothers back in 2008 had to file bankruptcy. That was right before the election of 2008, and their assets pre-filing were $639 billion in assets. $639 billion. Another one that was very close to that, Washington Mutual, that was back during the same time period. Also was about $327 billion. Another one that it resulted in people going to prison was WorldCom. You may remember that bankruptcy. That company was looted by its CEO and president. He went to prison, and as far as I know, he's still in prison. But WorldCom, which was a telephone company, had assets of $103 billion, dollars in assets. And General Motors filed a bankruptcy in 2009. Enron, those of us in Texas remember that one very well. That was a company in Houston that had overvalued greatly its stock. That was in 2001. And that one pales in comparison to some of these others. That was only $63 billion with a B. Chrysler, you remember that one back in 2009, $39 billion. Texaco had to file a bankruptcy, a Chapter 11, back in 1987. And there's just a number of others. And I'm going to predict basically that there are going to be a number of large bankruptcies being filed over the next, 6 or 7 months before the end of 2020. And I believe we're going to be looking at oil companies, major oil companies filing bankruptcies, major hotel companies like Hilton, Marriott, those kinds of companies. You're going to see those names filing bankruptcy. Also, a number of the airlines, they're out there flying basically empty planes. And you just can't continue to file empty planes for long. I mean, not only are you not getting any revenue, but you're also not getting any, you're burning money. You're spending money on fuel and the leases at all the gates at all the airports, and you're paying salaries to your employees and on and on and on and on. So anyway, it can be a very, very, very difficult time. It will be a difficult time for businesses. I do think we will be able to recover. And I think some of the smaller businesses will be able to recover quickly. And 2021 will be a year of recovery. And I think by the time the year is up, we'll be back in pretty good shape financially as a country and businesses in general. But it's going to be a struggle between now and probably the end of the year. And a lot could happen. We could have another wave of the coronavirus, heaven forbid. I'm certainly hoping that does not happen. And, I'm hoping schools can start, not only high schools and junior highs and elementary schools, but also our universities. We've got a son that's got one more semester at Texas A&M, and I will tell you, he would love to be able to spend his last semester there in College Station and not upstairs in our home, which is what he's been doing since about March the 8th or so. And it's been a difficult transition for him. He's actually at A&M right now, just kind of hanging out in his apartment. Nobody is there. Almost nobody is in the complex, but he's there and just taking a couple of days off before he comes back to Temple and spends the summer basically with us. By the way, he's an engineering student, and he is going to be looking for an internship. And if anybody out there has an internship for a Texas A&M engineering student, you can give us a call. My office number is 773-8399, and Grant would love the opportunity to learn with an internship, and you can call me and let me know about that so I can pass your name and your number along to our son Grant. Well, all right, so we talked about Chapter 11 bankruptcy a moment ago. And for most people, I have represented some people in Chapter 11 over my 35, 36 years of practicing law here in Central Texas. But the vast, vast majority of reorganization bankruptcies that are filed are Chapter 13s. And Chapter 13s can do a lot for you. It can get rid of and eliminate some debts without having to pay any on it at all. You would be required to pay some of your unsecured debts and most of your secured debts. But, for example, if you have a car, and a lot of my clients do buy a new car and they have a payment, let's say their payment is $950 a month on their vehicle. They just bought it and they were doing well. Their business was doing well. They had a great job, making good money, could afford it easily. Then this coronavirus hits and they're out of work. And they go from easily being able to afford a $950 vehicle payment to not being able to afford that vehicle payment. So what do? You got two options. You can allow that to be repossessed. They will sell it at an auction, and then they will sue you for the money that they lost at the auction. Or you can keep the vehicle and attempt to lower the monthly payment, and you can lower it depending on, in a Chapter 13, depending on how long you've owned that vehicle. Also, if you're behind, and let's say you have found new work and you can now afford the regular monthly payment, you just can't get caught up on the 2 or 3 months that you're behind, we can help you with that with a Chapter 13 to spread out or stretch out those payments that you've gotten behind over a number of years, and usually up to 5 years to be exact. So you can do that, and you can also do that on house payments that you've gotten behind on. Then we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get back from this break. So with that, we'll take a very short break, pay a few bills, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Arch Coons, the owner of A&C Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to A&C Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. A&C Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas. And our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi. Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. Thanks for hanging with me this beautiful Saturday morning. A little bit chilly, but not too bad. It's going to warm up to be a great day, though. I can tell you that. And we're on week 2 of this experiment or trial we're doing on getting both Law Talk with Ed Laughlin, Logic Weekend, or Weekend Logic, and Common Sense with Con on in our studio there in my law office in Temple, Texas. Got Shane in the studio, and he's going to be anchoring Weekend Logic today. And Shane, tell folks a little bit about that and where they can listen to you and what you're going to be talking about today.
Sure thing. So basically, Weekend Logic is about, what has gone on in the previous week and what's coming up in the next week. So it's kind of a weekend review type show, and we might have a guest, we might have calls, we might do a bunch of different things, but basically it's a weekend review type deal. So this week, what we'll be talking about is a couple of different things. We'll be talking about the coronavirus and how the governors of certain states are handling that. Newsom's about to get sued, and the Oklahoma governor signed a bill reinstating absentee voting. being notarized except during the coronavirus. So we have a bunch of stuff regarding the governors. We have other stuff. What happened this week? The big deal is the DOJ bombshell with Flynn. They dropped the charges and everything, and there's documents. There's a slew of documents that came out, and basically exonerating Flynn and exposing the FBI and Peter Strzok for being, for having ulterior motives. So we'll be talking about that, and then we'll talk about the economy coming up, because there's a lot of talk about the economy. The April jobs report came out this past week, and the Democrats are wanting to push through another stimulus bill, and Trump's wanting to do some stuff. And so we'll be talking about the economy and what's going on with the economy and what we can be looking forward to in regards to that in the show. Weekend Logic comes on. It's streamed live on logicnation.us, and it comes on from 10 to 12 right after this show, and then right after Weekend Logic, we'll have Common Sense with Con from 12 to 2. So that's kind of a synopsis of what's going on.
And Weekend Logic with Shane Currington cannot be heard on KTIM. It's important that you know that. So when my show is over, this show, Law Talk with Ed Laughlin, is over, if you've got a computer, if you've got a smartphone, just go to logicnation.us, and you can listen and see Shane on the show as it's streamed live on your computer, laptop, whatever kind of device you may have.
Yep. And don't forget Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, Twitter, and Periscope. We are streamed over. Actually, your show and my show and Con's is streamed all on social media as well.
That's right. Facebook, it's on Facebook, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
On YouTube, and we're being streamed. So we're at a lot of different places you can get us if you want to. And I'm thinking there's going to be one weekend I'm going to be in the studio this month. Not sure which one it is yet. I think it may be this next one. And if that's the case, I'll be there in the studio with Shane. You'll be able to see both of us there. Otherwise, all you can see is Shane today. And but then for the next 2 hours, you'll see him again, and then he'll be there with Con Tatum for Common Sense with Con, starting at 12 noon. So, and we do appreciate Shane holding down the fort down there in Temple while people like me are out gallivanting. I'm trying to make a living here in Fredericksburg, what I'm trying to do. But anyway, we do appreciate that. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about. We were talking about Chapter 11 bankruptcy and how that, because we have so many Chapter 11s being filed right now, we're going to have more and more. American Airlines will probably file. Delta will probably file. We'll have some other airlines that are going to be filing Chapter 7. They just will not be able to hang on. Their creditors just won't work with them enough. They may try a Chapter 11 initially, but it may fail, and they may end up having to convert to a Chapter 7. Well, for most individuals, Chapter 13 is what is filed to reorganize debt. And again, like I said briefly before, you may be behind on a house payment. You may be behind on some car payments, and your creditor is threatening to foreclose on your home. Filing Chapter 13 puts a halt to that foreclosure and allows you to pay back what you are behind in small monthly payments over a longer period of time. And right now, under the current coronavirus, you can get up to 7 years to pay that back. During normal times, you're given up to 5 years to pay it back. But right now, under the coronavirus, you can get up to 7 years to pay that back. And it's the same if you're behind on an automobile. And there's a really kind of a neat part of the bankruptcy code. And by the way, all of this is subject to change. Congress may change some of these laws in regard to bankruptcy, and if they do, I will keep you updated on what those changes are. But if you've owned a vehicle or a piece of equipment for a period of time, an automobile or a truck, for up to 2.5 years or longer than 2.5 years, you can completely change the monthly payment. So you may have a vehicle and your payment was $900 a month, and you bought it 2.5 years ago, and I can file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy for you, and I can drop that payment from $900 sometimes to as low as $300 or less per month, because the whole payment gets organized and paid and amortized, and then we stretch it out now, currently under current law, for up to 7 years from the date of filing, so you can still keep your vehicle, so you can get back and forth to work and do that for that length of time. Now, other debts, unsecured debts, are treated differently. Secured debts are treated differently than unsecured debts in a Chapter 13. And let's just say you have a Discover card and you owe $15,000 to Discover card. You can stretch out that debt over the 5 years to 7 years in payments. Also, you can reduce the amount that you owe. So to give you a perfect example, I have clients that instead of paying $15,000 back, they only have to pay $1,500 of that back, and the rest of it, the $13,500, is eventually erased in the Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And you can imagine how beneficial that is for people. And again, getting 5 years to pay back overdue payments on houses, land, vehicles, and under current law, due to the coronavirus, up to 7 years can be a tremendous benefit. Also, Chapter 13 can help you once you've completed it, because you have completed your Chapter 13 plan, can help you to get a much higher credit score, as high as even 750 FICO score or even higher, which will allow you to buy a home once the bankruptcy is over, allows you to buy another vehicle once the bankruptcy is over, and you've got a very, very good credit rating, and you get a very, very good interest rate on that. Chapter 13 also will allow you to get rid of certain income taxes. So if you have income tax that you owe and you've owed it longer than 4 years, many times you can get rid of some of that IRS debt. And if you're out there and you've got those kind of issues, give me a call this next week so I can hold your hand and help you get through this difficult time. My office number is 773-8399. With that, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back with more Law Talk.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in names and numbers.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, QuickWrenchAutomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Okay.
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it going to be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service. To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. We are live today, and we're just in the waning number of minutes left of the day's show. Got about 9 minutes or so left of the show. Don't forget, we are going to be streaming live Weekend Logic with Shane Currington on LogicNation.us. If you're listening to me right now on Logic Nation US, keep it tuned in, and Shane will be coming on at 10 o'clock. And then also after that, Common Sense with Con will be streamed live on LogicNation.us. If you're listening to me on KTM 1400 AM, you can listen to the Personal Wealth Coach at 10, and then Common Sense with Con at that. Anyway, hope to be in the studio live next week. I am live right now, but I hope to be in the studio live. So we've been talking about Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and there's a lot of benefits available, and I know there's a lot of stress out there. A large percentage of people have been laid off. You may have received unemployment benefits. You may not have received unemployment benefits. You may not have qualified. So there's a lot of stress involved out there because you're worried you're not able to pay your rent. You're not able to pay your mortgage payment. You're not able to pay your vehicle payments. Electric bills are getting behind, and you're struggling to keep your electricity turned on, and all the different things, to buy gas for your car so you can go buy groceries, and on and on and on and on. And, bankruptcy can help relieve some of the stress until things are improved for you. And if you're struggling and maybe you just don't know anything about it, anything about bankruptcy at all, I'd urge you to go to a professional, an attorney that does a lot of bankruptcies, and that is something that I do and have done since about 1985. And so that's a long, long time, and have represented tens of thousands of people, helping them to get a fresh, clean start, erasing debt, lowering monthly payments to payments that they can afford, making it to where they can keep their home, keep their cars, and things like that. One of the benefits of bankruptcy that a lot of people don't know is if you have had a car already repossessed, let's say you had a car repossessed 3 years ago, and that creditor filed a lawsuit and has been trying to collect on their judgment. Filing a bankruptcy can get rid of that debt that you owed on the vehicle that was repossessed, and give you the help that you need in regard to that. And that's that's one thing a lot of people are not aware of. I can help get rid of what's called a repossession deficiency debt. I can help you to keep the property that you have right now to where nobody can repossess it. One huge benefit of hiring an attorney to represent you is stopping creditor calls. You may be getting calls from a creditor 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, or even more. I've had people call me and come see me and say, well, I've got this one creditor that calls 20 times a day and will call all the way up till even after 9 o'clock at night, which, by the way, that is a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Act if they're calling you after 9 o'clock p.m. So I would recommend you document that and bring that to an attorney's attention, because there's definitely some things that can be done to stop that. But even regular creditor calls, once you've hired an attorney to represent you, what I tell my clients to do once they've hired me, if they get a call from a creditor asking for payment, tell them that you have hired Ed Laughlin, that he is your attorney, and he has advised you not to talk to them. And if they have any questions, tell them to call Ed Laughlin, and I will deal with that for you, so you don't have to do anything about that at all. You don't have to worry about it at all. I will deal with those creditors, and you don't have to be upset by those calls and things like that that you get. A couple of other things very, very quickly, and my time is escaping me as I go. It basically puts you more in control of your debt repayment and not the creditors. The creditors like to be in control. They like to be able to sue you. They like to be able to, if you can't pay, repossess an automobile or foreclose on a home. But filing a bankruptcy can really put you in more control to free up money to be able to pay your car or truck payments, free up some money to pay your mortgage payment, free up money to be able to save for retirement. Retirement comes for all of us. Some of it we voluntarily retire. Sometimes we involuntarily retire because we're not able to work anymore, but due to health problems and things like that. Also, there's, if you have children, eventually they're going to be going off to college, or some of them will anyway, and you may want to help them with their college education. And, I don't know about you, but most people would prefer to pay and help a child through college some rather than pay some payday lender or something like along that line. Anyway, so those are some of the things that can be done in bankruptcy. By filing bankruptcy, it'll help you to be able to start enjoying your life again without having to worry about all the payment of all the different bills. to get you basically off of that debt treadmill. You know, seems like we all go to work, and as soon as we get paid, pretty much we pay our bills, we're broke again, right? And to get you off of that debt treadmill, hopefully reduce or eliminate totally the stress that you've got, give you a sense of calm and a peace of mind. And because I've had clients that just couldn't even turn their phone on because they were getting so many creditor calls. It was just really, really bothering them. They couldn't sleep well at night because they were worrying about the debts that they owed, that they knew they couldn't pay, and worried about how they're going to figure out what they're going to tell the creditor when they call, and things like that. And you know, when you get in a debt situation where you can't pay your bills, it's almost, people have told me it feels like they can't even breathe. And you'll get to the point where you can breathe again. And Chapter 13 helps you get back into a routine where you can pay your bills that you're supposed to be paying. Everybody's off your back. And, you know, before you know it, it's over with. You're no longer fighting with your spouse. You're able to spend more time with your family and friends. And you basically have taken control of the horrible financial situation that you've been in. And all of that by simply coming to see an attorney to see what is available. That's why I offer a free consultation and have for the last 35 years, so you can come in. You don't have to spend money to learn what the benefits are of filing bankruptcy and make a decision for yourself instead of just listening to maybe creditors that would talk about how it'll hurt your credit and things like that, when in effect it actually will benefit your credit by filing a Chapter 13 or even a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And maybe next week I'll have time and I can talk about Chapter 7 bankruptcy with all of you. So with that, I think I'm about out of time. I want to wish all the mothers out there a very, very happy Mother's Day. I hope they have a great weekend this weekend. I hope they get calls from all their children. Maybe they get a gift or two, a card, a hug, a thank you for doing what you do every single day for us. So with that, I'm out of time. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for Weekend Logic with Shane Currington, and I'll see you back on the radio next Saturday. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.